That's why we're a small groups church, because the process of Christ in growth happens in relationship in a smaller group, just like Jesus did it. And if you watch Jesus, he tracked with those stages. He even uses some of this language, and it's replete and all through the New Testament. What is that process? What are those stages of growth and development? Now, here's a way to illustrate it, kind of understand it. I mean, where is your heart today? If a bomb were to go off in the room, and this is a safe place, so some of you who get a little feisty, don't worry about it. But if a bomb were to, I used that illustration in Israel, and that was not a good illustration in Israel. It didn't go so well. Started patting me down. Bomb, well. But think about it for a minute. If a bomb went off in this room right now, how would the infants, how would the babies respond? What would they do? They'd cry. Ah! Why? Because they don't understand. And that is a parallel. God in his wisdom has given us a parallel to emotional and physical growth for spiritual growth. When you're a spiritual infant, if you've just accepted Christ, or maybe you accepted Christ a long time ago, but you've never been led to grow, when something happens traumatic, it might be in the news, it might be in your family, it might even be in your church, you tend to go, I don't understand, and you start freaking out, and that is okay. That's actually healthy for an infant in Christ. And parents come alongside that and they help them through that. But there's a point where you can't stay there crying because you don't understand. You've got to move ahead in your understanding of the Christian life, of being more like Jesus. And so if the bomb went off in the room again, what would the children do? What would somebody in their childhood do? They'd pretty much say, where's mom? Right? And that's what spiritual children do. Where's the parent? I mean, some of you, when I walked out on stage, I could see it in your eyes. Where's Jim? That scary guy's up there again. He's talking about bombs and stuff. Where's Jim? Can we make it to Coeur d'Alene? Which is a very natural reaction. Jim, for many of you, he's become a spiritual father. And children do that. They respond that way. They need coaching and encouragement. But you can't just let children keep eating pablum and drinking milk. They've got to move on to solid food, something more than just hamburgers and fries, right? And so the next stage, if the bomb were to go off in the room again, at least the high school and college-age kids that I hang around, actually both men and women, to be honest with you, boys and girls, or whatever, men and women, boys and girls, if the bomb were to go off in the room, what would a young man or a young woman do? What would they do? Well, the guys I hang out with, some of my guys would be like, who set that bomb off? We're going to get him. And a lot of them would just spread out. They would start moving out. They'd make sure their family was okay. They'd start moving out, and they'd be pulling chairs off people or making sure everybody's okay because they want to do something. And that's the same for spiritual growth. There comes a point where the milk and the meat have to give away to some action, and it's natural. And if you're sitting in this group and you're actually you're a spiritual adolescent, if you will. You're a young man or a young woman in Christ. It doesn't matter what your chronological age is. You're kind of getting antsy. It's like, okay, what can I do? Can I do something? Give me something to do. That's very natural for spiritual growth. And you know what kids, give me the keys to the car. Yeah, I want a checkbook and I want to be able to book airplane flight, all that kind of stuff that adults do. Of course, if you do give them the keys to the car, sometimes the car doesn't come back in real good shape. And that happens spiritually as well. I didn't have the answer that I thought I did. I wasn't able to. And you don't just say, well, you're disqualified. Sit back down. Sit back down. Don't serve ever again because you blew it. Okay. And we force mediocrity on people spiritually instead of releasing them like any young man, woman would want to be and coaching them through the rough spots. The car can be fixed. You may have to get a job to fix it, but that'll give you something to do too. And that's how we grow spiritually, in service, finding our gifts. And then again, if the bomb went off here in the room, what would the parents do? And really grandparents too. First thing they'd be doing is looking around for the kids, wouldn't they? And that's what spiritual parents do. We need spiritual parents. People that raise up in their maturity like Christ. And I love it so much that Jesus used the word parent. He didn't use CEO. He didn't use captain of the force. He didn't use president or boss. He used parent, because you know what that word means, don't you? Parent sometimes means like, whew, that was a ripe one. That's being a parent. Parent sometimes mean, oh, they're tired, they went to sleep, I better clean this up and take care of that. Parent means, hey, come over here, I want to talk to you about this so we don't make that mistake again. And that is the character of Jesus Christ. That's how Jesus led. He didn't lead through some kind of autocratic rules, regulations, and parliamentary procedure. He led through being in relationship with people and bringing them to himself so they could grow.